Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all already know who this is. This is Ron the freaking Don. Now, today, I want to speak about the latest incident that has occurred in the election cycle. The recent headline that all the political outlets, mainstream media outlets, is speaking about is Donald Trump in his rally at Madison Square Garden, and him speaking about Liz Cheney, that he allegedly wants Liz Cheney, called for Liz Cheney's execution. That's the latest news story. Now, right? The mainstream liberal media, more specifically MSNBC, has called the Trump supporters at his rally at MSG Nazi supporters. Now, since my friends on the far left like to emphasize political correctness, do y'all think it's politically correct to speak about the supporters of your political opponents that way? Do y'all think it's politically correct to speak about half of the country that supports Trump? Do you think politically correct to speak about them that way? But no matter whether you a Democrat, Republican, left, right, libertarian, centrist, moderate, liberal, whatever, we all Americans. So do you think it's politically correct to speak about the supporters of your political opponents that way? Maybe they see something in your political opponent that they don't see in you. Everybody has different values. Everybody has different priorities. So you gonna criticize somebody and supporters for that? Criticize him all you want. Criticize Trump all you want, but criticize his supporters. No, that's uncalled for, and that is very unpolitically correct. And now it goes from that and criticizing a comedian that was at his rally that made a terrible joke about Puerto Ricans and the island of Puerto Rico. Now, when he made a joke about Puerto Rico, he was referring to the garbage crisis that Puerto Rico is currently experiencing. They're experiencing a garbage crisis right now, and the comedian at the Trump rally was referring to that. So, was it a bad joke? Yes. However, he shouldn't be held to a high standard as if he was a politician. It was a bad joke. He got booed. Move on. And you're going to try to, and the MSNBC want to try to link the Trump campaign to the comedian, even though the Trump campaign has distanced himself from the comedian in his comments. Now, why is everyone getting worked up about a joke? The joke, it was a bad joke. Now move on. Why everybody getting worked up about it? Why? Because they don't have nothing else to talk about. Why? Because they know they can't criticize Trump and his policies because they know his policies were better than their candidate's policies. Kamala Harris. But anyway, it goes from that to the President of the United States, Joe Biden, calling Trump supporters garbage, and the White House press office trying to cover it up, put a spin on it. When they released the document, they try to put the apostrophe S. But when the White House Stenography Department released the official document, to AP and other media outlets. It displayed the full context of what Biden said. It was without the apostrophe now. That he called his supporters garbage. Now, could I have Biden? Could he have slipped up and said the wrong thing and said it in the way that was maybe offensive? Yes. Yeah, maybe because of his dementia, he tripped over his words a little bit and probably framed it in a improper way. But the point about it is, the fact of the matter is, he still said it. Well, why there's no uproar about that? If they quick to take something that Trump said out of context and make it as if he said something that he really didn't say, but don't do the same thing to Biden. Why you don't hold Biden accountable for what he said? It's a double standard, and the mainstream media is overly biased towards Democrats and overly biased against Trump and the Republicans. There's always a double standard for Trump and Republicans, but no standard for Democrats. So why isn't he being held accountable? See, and this is a classic case of election interference, because not only that, but they also want to put Kamala Harris on Saturday Night Live on NBC this past Saturday. They showcased it on Saturday Night Live with a 90-second cameo, or whatever it is you want to call it, with one of the Saturday Night Live members, cast, speaking about her agenda, giving her a little lesson, a little lecture, or whatever. So you tell me, right before an election, days before an election, that's not election interference? Her appearing on Saturday Night Live, one of the most watched TV shows on the weekends. Her appearing on Saturday Night Live days before an election is not election interference, where the millions of viewers the whole world could see. That's not election interference. Now, even the FCC commissioner, what's his name? Brendan Carr, FCC commissioner, has stated that the NBC and Saturday Night Live violated the equal time rule, violated the equal time regulation, and they're supposed to give equal time to all candidates if they were going to give time to the Democratic candidate, which is Kamala Harris. But they didn't do the same for Trump. But Trump recently appeared on I believe a Saturday Night Live as well, some show, not too sure about it, but like on Sunday. And of course, there wasn't as many viewers as Saturday Night Live on Saturday night. So yeah, this is a classic case of election interference. So why aren't Democrats being held accountable? So it's like Democrats could do whatever they want, but when Republican does it, it's bad, it's evil, it's vilified. So they showcasing election interference. They displaying election interference same way they did back in 2020 with the whole Hunter Biden laptop story. They censored that right before an election. They know if they revealed that story, it would influence the election. It definitely would have. That's election interference as well. So it's like they've been going after Trump since day one, since when he first entered office, and when he first got elected in 2016, saying, Trump is not my president. They questioned his election, but when they questioned the legitimacy of Trump's election, but when Trump questioned the loss of his election in 2020, it's a conspiracy. It's wrong. It's vilified when he questioned it, but they questioned his legitimacy as president in 2016. You see how that works? And try to label him, and try to link him to the Russia collusion hoax in 2016 from when he first got elected. Come on, it was Hillary Clinton's campaign who hired Fusion GS, which is a public relations campaign that linked him to Russiagate, that linked Trump to Russiagate. So why wasn't that criticized? Why wasn't that scrutinized? Why is it that Hillary Clinton was able to delete 30,000 emails of Bleach Pit? Why wasn't that's election? You don't think that's election interference as well? So Democrats have a classic case of election interference, but they're never held accountable for anything. So it'll show you that both sides are guilty of the same things. Both sides are guilty for the same exact things. Come on. And they try to blame Trump for January 6th when he made the call. He called for the National Guard 1 or 2 days before the incident even happened. But Nancy Pelosi and Muriel Bowser didn't follow the order. Or they denied the request for the National Guard. Or why they aren't held accountable. You see, I have a lot of questions about both sides. Both sides do the same thing. The only difference is the Democrats act like they're holier than thou. They act like they're not corrupt when they're just as much as corrupt as the Republicans. They do the same thing. They do the same exact practices. They apply the same exact tactics. However, the Democrats make it seem like they don't when they do. So it's wrong for Republicans to do it, but it's okay for the Democrats to do it. You see how that works? But anyway, that'll be it for this video. That'll conclude my video. Hopefully I enjoyed this lesson, my lesson of politics, of political history of the election. And this concludes my video. If you like this video, hit like, subscribe, leave a comment. And I will catch y'all in my next video as the election continues. Peace.